Hello. In this session, we're going to focus on a lunge stance with arms reaching up, holding it isometrically for 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. If you've never tried a lunge stance before for 2 minutes, I recommend you get a chair or a stool or a bunch of cushions that you can prop yourself up off your hips, specifically away from the floor. So this front bent knee, the back of that hip, is supported on a chair or a small child, make them use it for something, or whatever you have that's stable that you can rest on gently. Your back leg is reaching long. Try not to have the leg out to the side too much. Try to have it long behind you as much as you can comfortably. All right? The arm's going to reach up the whole time. I'm going to get my phone to help me acknowledge me. I'm going to set a 2-minute timer. Are you ready? You can always hit pause. I'm going to hit start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Arms reach up to the sky, sitting on whatever you got, back leg stretching long, easy, breathing in gently and breathing out gently. This is a really great stance to practice. It is an important stance to have in terms of your body is often in like a walking pattern, not with your arms up. B, your arms up is really strengthening for your shoulder girdle, so long as it doesn't overly stress your neck and or top of your shoulders. We'll talk more about that as we go along. But this reaching up motion is very, very pivotal for your long-term health of your shoulder girdle and neck. Many people lack this ability of reaching up with long, straight elbows. Your arms could be a little further apart, that's fine, but do try and get those elbows to be stretched. Many people cannot straighten their arms in this position. That's okay. That doesn't mean you were born like that with bones that don't allow that motion. Like joints can be malleable, right? You might have tendons and ligaments that restrict your range of motion, but you can work on lengthening things to the best of your capacity. Now, things to focus on here is that your hips are facing forward where the direction of the knee is facing, like a pair of headlights. Try not to twist your torso towards me because I'm talking to you. Try and twist the shoulders and hips in the same direction forward. That back leg is stretching long, so I'm pushing this back heel away from me along the entire time. That knee may want to wilt towards the floor and bend gently over time and just reconnect to it and stretch it long back there. If it gets to be too much, specifically fatigue in your lower back, take a break, take note of the time, and that'll be the amount of time that you're going to work towards to increase or just achieve in your practice. Again, a lunge stance is a great thing for our long-term health and well-being. It also lengthens, you can hopefully maybe feel that, this front line of the back leg. Oh, that was 2 minutes. All right. Now we are going to have 2 minutes off as well. Right, so that lunge stance is really pivotal, specifically for the back line, the front thigh, the front of the back thigh, up through your ribs and up through that arm is getting a nice long length. And we have a hard time finding that in our daily living. Oftentimes we are compressing down, we're not reaching up, we're not lengthening fully. This is one nice, gentle, supportive way to achieve that. All right? You're going to also feel the front leg, the back of that front leg is working quite a bit to support you here. Now, whatever you're on is going to help you, of course. Regardless, you can feel that front leg was working a bit to help support the position. Getting your body to be vertical is great as well because it helps that length and lifting up away from the floor because gravity is generally pulling our chest forward. It's rare for the gravity to pull someone's chest back. It can pull your hips forward and sink your chest back, but it really pulls the upper back towards the floor behind you. That's a really rare posture to find in everyone, in the general population. Most people tend to collapse forward here, being pulled down. So practicing this lunge stance with arms up helps you think of reaching up away from the floor, and the legs are reaching nice and long as well. All right, so we're going to get set up to go to the other side. Take your time. Again, find a place where your leg, the back leg, is not out to the side and not crossed too far behind. Hips face generally forward. Your back leg is stretching long. Keep the back of this front heel, even though you can't see my foot, keep the back of the front heel glued down to the ground as much as you can. And really allow the chair to support you. Now, if you find you can't allow the chair to support your weight and have your back knee straight, that means you need to put a cushion or something on the chair to elevate your hips higher away from the ground so your back leg can be long and strong and you can give your full body weight to the seat. Here we go. Find your stance, arms up, reaching. And again, rotate those hips to face the same direction that your knee is going forward, chest facing forward, face facing forward, arms reaching up gently. Again, arms can be further apart. That feels better for you, but do try to stretch those elbows as much as you can. Keep sitting on the chair, keep stretching that back leg, keep the front heel on the floor. Now, if during this 2-minute period or whatever, what you are feeling is stress or fatigue to your neck and top of your shoulders, the thing to think about is that your shoulder blade needs more support from underneath, so all the work isn't going to the top of your neck and shoulder, right? You want to really help the fibers on the bottom of your shoulder blade contract and support the motion of the arms, the weight of the arms going up. So something that you can do is maybe take arms a little wider, but a little bit further behind you as well. Just try that. You will feel how the bottom of your shoulder blade around where your bra strap may be, maybe never was. In your mind, just pretend that you wore one at some point. If you've ever worn like a strap of for a cardio meter, same place, you'll feel how that part of your back feels something potentially. Maybe not. If you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not working. You just don't feel it, and that's no big deal. But that's the part of your scapula area, the fibers that work around those bones, are trying to reconnect and re-engage. Not drawing your shoulders down. That's not what I'm asking you to do. You're just trying to get the bottom of your shoulder blade to hug towards the rib cage more. Engaging the fibers that support the scapula down there to really support the arms, the weight of the arms reaching up. That is one way to help get the tension away from your neck and top of your shoulders more. So don't think of drawing your shoulders down. Instead, it will help to reach your arms back a little more and really encourage the lower border of the shoulder blade to get more contact with the rib cage, and the fibers that do that will help will shorten and gain more support. And that was 2 minutes already, right? So if your arms are up, try taking them a little wide and then behind you a little bit more if you can. And you'll feel how where the shoulder blade is, those fibers really fire up more, and that will support your shoulder blade against your ribcage, making it a nice, firm, solid contact there with lots of energy and circulation to support the weight of your arm reaching up. Because without that, your shoulder blade is not connected to your ribcage as much as it could be, and that's going to make other soft tissues work more aggressively, specifically the top of your shoulder blade, the top of your shoulders, even into your neck, to fire, to hold the weight of the arms up there, right? So that's just something to think about. If having your arms overhead's just not pleasant, try a little open and more behind you to actually gain more support. Not way behind you, I said a little behind you, just a smidge, until you hopefully can feel the bottom portion of that shoulder blade making more contact. Now, you can repeat with the chair, or if you're feeling bold, brazen, and sassy, even if you're not, you can try doing the stance without the chair. Now, the back heel on the floor is easier and more supportive. Back heel off the floor is more intense and aggressive, and that's your choice. The front knee is bent, right? That front knee, ideally, your knee is directly over the ankle or just a bit forward of where the ankle is, right? So your shin's perpendicular or slightly forward towards your toes. So long as the very back of the front heel stays on the floor, that knee can go as far forward as you would like, right? Really focus on the very back part of the front heel bone making contact with the floor. You'll find the pressure wants to go into your toes and forefoot a lot. Instead, send it back to your heel. You'll feel how that changes the engagement of your whole leg. And here we go, arms up. You see it's not so bad. And again, here is that position that we did sitting. Now it's a little bit higher. You can see I'm higher than the chair is. If I wanted to make it deeper, I would just hop the back leg a little further back to get to the same height of the chair if I wanted to. But that's not where I want to go right now, because I want to focus more on lengthening the back of that back ankle, heel, arms reaching up, front knee just stays bent. And again, hips shine forward, chest and face shine forward here, reaching that back leg nice and long. And again, you can feel how you want to put pressure to your front toes and forefoot. Try not to do that as much. Instead, pour more weight into the back part of that front heel bone. Right? So it's not always going to your toes. Distribute it more efficaciously, is that even a word? distribute it more evenly through your whole foot, specifically the back of your heel, because the more the weight goes to your front forefoot and toes, the less aware you become of where actually the back of your heel bone is, right? If I pour more weight into the back of my heel, I can feel, oh, the back of my heel bone is much further back than I thought it was because my weight was going forward to my toes and forefoot. So really think about that. Where is the back part of that heel bone on that front foot? Reach that down to the floor the whole time, keeping that front knee bent. Again, arms just reaching up. And again, you can have the arms a little wider and further behind you to help gain more support there, if what you feel is your neck and or top of your shoulders aggressively. You can feel that this is not so intense, right? Definitely easier than that wall squat we did a couple videos ago, but still a nice challenge. This is a great thing to practice, again, because it gets a length through this arm down through that back leg. Something people have a really difficult time achieving in their normal lives. This is not a position that we strive for, even though it's very beneficial for you. We don't find ourselves in this position a lot. We're not reaching up throughout the day as much as we could. That would help our heart, lift our heart and keep us from collapsing forward. Careful as you come out of there, bend those knees, I said repeat, and then gently return. You can have a seat if you want to, or prepare yourself mentally for the next round. Again, if that was too much for you without the chair, go back to the chair. It's a great, which leg was forward? This leg was forward, so I'm going to have this leg forward, excuse me, recalibration there. All right, now I'm going to set myself up, and I want to use the chair as a measure for how high my hips were. I was just above the chair height on that other side, so I want to be the same here. Hips are facing forward. Make sure that back leg isn't out to the side too far or crossed behind you. You're not on a tightrope here either, right? So the front foot should not be directly in front of the back foot. The legs are hip distance apart, which means where your hip bones are, the legs are directly underneath those bones, right? Now my back heel was not on the floor on the other side. It might not have the same range of motion on this ankle. So for example, my right ankle, the one that's back behind me now, has more flexion generally than my left, just a bit. No matter how much I warm or stretch this front ankle, it just bends slightly less than my right. Or you can also say it bends differently, because it's not just a flexion, there's a bit of other things going on there. Regardless, so my back heel is a little bit closer to the floor on this back leg on this side, even though I'm about the same distance front to back with my feet and bending my knee forward and not letting that knee straighten and keeping at least this front shin bone perpendicular to the column, if not forward more towards my toes. Things to help you think about is these hips. You want to rotate, if the hips are facing away from the front knee, think of twisting, squeezing the top of your inner thigh bones together will help those hips face more directly forward. Not so much that you're twisting excessively, but that could just help you gain some alignment there, right? We're going to get ready to start very soon. Again, bending that front knee, pouring weight into the back of that front heel bone, really encouraging yourself to find that. Here we go. Arms are going to be up. All right, here we go. All right, 2 more minutes, and then we're finished with this. Yeah, it didn't go by, so it's not so hard. Really bend that front knee a lot. Stretch those arms up. Really, can you feel the bottom portion of your shoulder blade hugging into your rib cage? That will really support your arms up there, not make it just all the top of your neck and shoulders. Try a little wider and try a little further behind you to get that support. And eventually, you can work your arms higher and closer towards each other if you want that as a goal. Also, don't forget the elbows are trying to be straight here. The arms tend to wilt over time. It's just gravity. You're trying to resist that. Now, my front knee can bend more, slowly straightening there. I can feel that. So I just have to bend it more and stretch that back heel long towards the floor. Now, there is a lot of back sensation here, and your lower back is engaged, and that should not be excessively painful or tiring. If what you feel here is pain or discomforture, take a break or go back to the stool. You might find on one side it's easier to not use the stool than on the other side. That's normal, right? So use the stool equally on both sides, and then try and use it a little less over time, but make sure you're equal side to side. So don't use the stool on one side for 1 minute and the other side for 1.5 minutes. Try and use the stool evenly side to side and try and come away from the stool evenly side to side. Reaching those arms up, chest lifts up, reaching up to the crown of your head. Try not to let your eyes or face drip down over time, because then gravity pulls you down. You're resisting gravity here, bending that front knee forward, stretching that back heel long to the floor, reaching those arms up to the sky forever, as if you're plugging your feelings up through the clouds. Stretch them up as you bend the front knee forward, as you reach the back leg long, as the shoulders and hips face directly forward the whole time. Did you forget to breathe? Because I certainly have a hard time breathing sometimes when things get more intense. You can feel how that front forefoot takes over. Put more weight to that back heel. Release, bend gently, and come out of there. Really great job. Now, something else you can practice here to release would be to practice a little squat stance. This chair is high. You can practice your squat stance on the chair, or you can get some cushions to support your hips to go down a little lower. So if I had some cushions, but I don't have right now, I would put the cushions under my hips here to support my hips. Right? I'm gonna find a depth that works for me, just to give your backbone a little bit of a different position and to stretch the bottom side below your knee gently. Keep lifting your chest up. We're not gonna be here for very long. Easy, just a gentle squat to give a bit of a counter stretch to your body. Again, if going this low is too aggressive for you, don't worry about it. You can also elevate your heels. I didn't say wear high heels. I said you can elevate them. So roll up a mat or put an even two books that are evenly the same height under each heel. Not the whole foot, just the heel. And that will help you find this practice in your body of a nice deep squat. Again, we're not going to be here long. I know I keep saying that. It's not a trick, but this has not been a very long time. Now you can have your elbows in between your knees to help push them away to help your heart lift as well. We're just giving a bit of a counter stretch to the body after all of that nice, lovely extension. Now be careful as you come out of here. You can climb up on something. You can also take your hands to the floor or thighs and just slowly stand up nice and tall. Be careful of the ascension there. Take your time. Really great. That big level change is going to have a big effect on your body. Take your time. Allow yourself to recalibrate, right? That level change is hard on your blood and circulatory system. Interlace your fingers. Palms to the sky. Legs parallel, hip distance. Stretch over to the side. Really great job. Bring it up tall. And then stretch over to the side. You got it. Bring it up tall. Bend your knees. Twist around, rotate. Bring it back up tall, center. Bend your knees, twist around, rotate. Big breath in, center. Release the arms, ready for the rest of whatever's next for you in the rest of your day. Congratulations, that was a lovely practice, and you can feel how really energizing it is to have your heart lifting up, one leg forward, one leg back, arms reaching. My name is Eric. This is Nucleus Strength. I look forward to getting stronger with you in the future. Yours in good health. Take care.